Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my HELWYR'S melee guide and it will be minimal food kills. I'll show you two different methods. One's a higher level method that you literally use zero food doing. Method 2 is a lower level method which I would not advise unless you do have a two-hander, but I'll show it with two one-handers. The wolves that spawn can be really troublesome if you don't have a two-hander. But either way, it doesn't take up too much food, but the kill times are severely slower than with a scythe. But it's still definitely doable and a good way to make money. Even at the lower levels, you'll just have to concentrate more and try harder. First off, I want to talk about the requirement. Well, you need 80 magic to enter the boss room. Even though we're not using magic to kill him, you still need that 80 magic. And you need the devotion ability unlocked. If you need help on unlocking this ability, I'll put a link in the description on how to get it. You use loot share and kill bandos or armadillo minions in God Wars Dungeon 1 and it has a chance of dropping, along with two other abilities. So if I leave that link in the description, it will help you get the devotion ability if you need it. The minimum stats for the kill 2, which is the low level one, is 70 plus prayer, 85 plus attack, 80 plus defense and 68 plus summoning. That will be minimal food kills, maybe 2 to 3 food per kill if you're soloing and doing it really well. Especially easy if you're using a Dragon Rider Lance. The ideal stats for the kill 1 that I'll show you, which is the high level method, you want 95 plus prayer, 90 plus attack, 90 plus defense, 96 plus summoning, and 96 plus herb lore. You literally use zero food in these kills. I'll show you a kill from the start to finish while commentating on it, and I use no food. Make sure you bring a shield switch. The only reason we can do it with so little food is a shield switch. Definitely bring one. Bring the highest tier shield you can. The higher the shield, the better the heal. For the first kill, which is the higher level kill, you're going to want a couple of recommended items. You want Vamparism, Aura or Scrimshaw. The weapons I'd advise is a scythe. Drygores also work, but the AoE on the wolves is much harder with two one-handers, so I would not advise that. Typically you want to go with a scythe. For armor, I'd recommend Torva or higher. Malevolent is probably recommended and that's what I use, but then Tetsu and Torva also work, but your kill times just won't be quite as fast. Overloads are really great. As always, they increase your DPS, they increase your survivability. They're just great. Defense boosting items like Excalibur and everything, they're also really good, but they're not needed. They're just an added bonus. If you have it, use it. HELWYR'S has 4 abilities that he loops. The first ability, as soon as you start the battle, he'll spawn 3 poisonous mushrooms. They have a cloud around them, just stand out of there and you won't take any damage. It slows you down if it's on you, so you'll walk out of it a bit slower, but all in all it doesn't do too much. Ability 2, you will bleed. He'll hit you for 1.5 to 2k in a cone in front of him. You can either move out of it, or you'll do what I show you with the shield switch and the resonance to gain you back some life. Number 3, he spins around in circles, hitting you 5 times, stacking a bleed each time. This can be stopped with devotion, but you still have to use your freedom on the bleed. Number 4, he spawns 2 wolves so you can easily cleave down. I'll go into more detail about these 4 abilities while I'm showing you the kill in a second. Let's get into the rundown of my equipment. In my inventory, I take overloads enough for an hour, I take super perennials enough for an hour, and I take 8 prayer flasks. This normally does me easy for the hour. I usually have a couple of prayer potions left over, but I like to take more and not enough. I have my shield switch. I use the chaotic shield, so it's tier 80, it's pretty good, solid heals. Then I've got a pack yak full of food and the rest of my inventory being food. I like to take the extra food just in case I do mess up, or if I'm talking to someone and I make a mistake, etc. If you're confident and you know that you won't need the food from the yak, you can take something like a nihil, so it increases your damage, increases your accuracy, and your kill times will be faster. So if you don't need that space in your yak for food, I'd recommend taking the yak for the first couple of times at least, just so you can get used to it. Then just taking the heal, they're still good. As for my worn equipment, I've got my Malevolent helm, chest and legs. I've got my cheap Bando's boots, because why not? I've got my Ring of Death, my Death Touch bracelet, my Amulet of Souls, my Vamparism aura, my Max Cape. Everything you can in each slot, just put the best thing possible. Of course, I've got my scythe. The scythe is by far the best weapon for HELWYR'S. HELWYR'S has 4 abilities. These abilities go in sequence. The first ability he does, he will spawn some mushrooms. If they spawn on you, just walk out of them and it's simple as that. Second ability is he'll yell, "You will bleed," and he'll do a conal claw in front of him that will make you bleed. For this, you want to do your shield switch, you want to pop your resonance, and you'll heal for what he would hit you for the bleed, which is great. His next ability is him running around in a circle. He'll run around in a circle and do 5 hits. You can use your devotion ability to make your protect from melee 100% effective, and he'll hit ones. He'll still stack his bleed though, this is important. You need to use freedom as soon as he stops spinning so that you get rid of the bleed. The bleed hurts a lot. Get rid of it. Then he will just spawn 3 wolves. This is why we use the scythe. Leave the wolf down, easy hurricane and quake and they're dead. A cleave if you really need to. Then he'll do his mushrooms. He'll spawn 3 random mushrooms. If it spawns on you, just run out of it. Then again, he'll just keep doing exactly the same abilities over and over again. He'll do his cleave. You'll resonance it. Give your HP back. Gives so much HP back, it's unreal. Then he'll spin around in circles. If you don't have your devotion up, which you won't for the second time, just surge or run away. Then as soon as he hits you, because he'll hit you with 1 normally, no matter what, just use your freedom, get rid of that bleed that's stacked up, and then you're good to go. You just keep repeating it. Make sure you cleave down those wolves though, because when wolves attacking you and you're trying to get your resonance off when he's doing his bleed, you won't be able to because the wolves will take it. If the wolf hits you before his bleed goes off with your resonance, only get healed for what the wolf hit you, and then the bleed will hit you as normal. So make sure you kill the wolves so then you can get your resonance off freely and safely. Literally that's all it is. You just need to remember the key mechanics of this boss fight and you're good to go. Another important thing to note is he'll always do 3 melee attacks between each of his abilities. So if you count the melee attacks, you can easily judge when to surge or when to use an ability, etc. 3 auto attacks, use resonance. 3 auto attacks, use devotion. 3 auto attacks, leave down the walls. 3 auto attacks, and then he'll spawn some mushrooms. If it spawns on you, just run away. It's as simple as that. This boss is very, very easy when you master it. As you can see in that kill, I took no damage, didn't even eat any food. For the second kill, which is the lower level kill, you're going to need your Vamparism Aura or Scrimshaw again. The weapons you want tier 85 plus. I used the Twin Fury Blades, but it's quite hard with the Twin Fury Blades, so I would definitely suggest a Dragon Rider Lance if you have it over the Twin Fury Blades. But it is possible with the Twin Fury Blades, that's why I used them, but it's much smoother with a Dragon Rider Lance. For armor, you want Bandos Plus, so anything over Bandos is good. Bandos itself isn't too bad either. Amulet, an Amulet of Blood Fury is really helpful because then it will give you some life back. So obviously use that if you have it. Again, defense boosting items are really helpful. Excaliburs, etc. Those are really helpful, especially in low tier gear. So use those if you have them. As for my equipment on the lower level, it's pretty similar to the higher level, except for I've got a superset instead of overloads. The rest of the inventory is the same. I've got my super prayer nails, my prayer flask, my chaotic shield, my sharks, and then I've got a war tortoise full of extra sharks. As for gear, I've got full bandos, including the gloves and boots. I've got the twin blades, but obviously the Dragon Rider Lance would be better here. Got my Amulet of Blood Fury, got a Warrior's Ring, my Vamparism Aura, and a good cape. There's not much else to say about this. You're going to need the food this time, so you can't really take a Nihil over a War Tortoise. You want to take the extra food because with this gear you're going to get hit more than what I did when I was using my Malevolent and my Scythe. We're going to be doing the exact same thing as we did in the first kill, but just with worse gear. So we're going to use our shield switch for the cleave. On his bleed, you're just going to use it, gain like 1.5 to 2k life instead of taking it. Then he'll spin around in circles, he'll apply the bleed, you'll use your devotion to take 0 damage from it, but you'll still need to use your freedom after the bleed, remember. It really does hurt when you don't get rid of the bleed. Then you just keep attacking him. When the wolves spawn, it's a bit harder to get rid of them. You're going to want to try and get rid of them so you can use your resonance on the cleave and not get hit by a wolf instead. So you're going to want to use flurry and maybe single target the wolves a little tiny bit just to get them out of the way, because it can damage you quite a lot. Otherwise, if you don't want to kill the wolves, you can just sidestep the cleave but then you don't gain the life, which is a shame. All in all, doing it this way is much slower and you would get kill times of around 3 minutes 30 instead of around 2 minutes 20. So it's over a minute slower, but then again, if you're low level, that's still going to be quite a few kills in an hour, about 15 kills in an hour and a good chance at some nice loot. I typically use 3 to 4 food per kill with these dual one-handers. If I had a Dragon Rider Lance, I'd probably only use about 2 food per kill. It's much easier with a two-hander because of Hurricane and Quake. But yeah, I'm just showing you this just to show you it can be done. Just remember, he'll do 3 auto attacks between each ability. That means he'll do 3 attacks, then he'll do his cleave, he'll do 3 attacks, then he'll do his spin, he'll do 3 attacks, and then he'll do his wolf summon. He'll do 3 attacks and then he'll do his mushrooms. So each time make sure you're prepared to do the right thing. So when he's doing his cleave, make sure you're prepared to shield swap. When he's doing his spin, make sure you're prepared to devotion or surge. When he summons his wolf, make sure you have flurry up or hurricane quake if you're using a 2-hander hopefully. And then when he's making his mushrooms, just run out of them as soon as possible. That's all it is to this skill. As long as you've got the mechanics down, you'll do fine. Remember the abilities to use in each circumstance and it will take so much of the pain away from this boss. It's not as hard as people think. Thanks for watching guys, I hope this was helpful to you. I'm just showing you that these bosses aren't actually as hard as people think. They think the God Wars 2 bosses are really hard. But they're actually not that hard. You can do it with mediocre gear, but obviously if you have the really good stuff, it's so quick and the kills are so easy. Let me know down in the comments below if there's anything else you would like to see. Please subscribe if you're new, give it a like if you enjoyed. Have a good double XP weekend and I'll catch you next time.